Hi everyone. Before I start, I want all of you to think about the answers of those 3 questions. So the first one, how do you guys define belonging? The sense of belonging. How do you get that? The second one, do you really think you have found where you belong? And the third one, have you ever tried to change yourself because you're in a new place, facing new environment, new people, new everything? It's not like creating a new persona for a new school term, showing that, hi, I have a better personality, come and be friend with me. I guess the change I experienced was more like a forced reshaping, even somehow against my will. I changed in many ways. How I treat other people, how I express my emotions, ideas, how I express affection, my attitude towards something, and even how I define myself within the community. This happened when I moved away from my hometown for 12 years to a completely new world in Europe that was waiting for me to explore. I was born in a place in Asia that most of you are familiar with, but don't know in depth. I'm from China, a country with long history and profound cultural heritage that is very different from the Western ones, right? In fact, when talking about different understandings and scopes of belonging, we can always get confusing different answers. They vary from person to person. For example, as what I mentioned, you can belong to a country, no matter it's the one written on your passport or the one that you may want to go when you grow up. You can belong to a culture, the East, the West, or one specific one from a nation. You can belong to a community, you can belong even to a group of people who share the same interests, experience, ideas, and even opinions that make you feel like, oh, I found people who actually understand me, so I belong to them. The process of finding the sense of belonging sounds quite like an inspirational movie for a lot of people here, as I believe so. But for me, it always brings me a deep sense of doubt. I don't know how much you guys understand of the East, but before arriving in Lisbon, my understanding of the West was really limited, mostly from those very cool movies full of stereotypes. Okay, not my fault. And because of that, I don't really know how different I am from European people, and I don't know why the life is so different from my hometown. The first thing I did before going to school was not like I'll decide to have a super amazing life in Europe. I'll have a lot of friends from different nations. I'll learn very hard. It was changing my name. Yeah, it was changing my name. The most basic thing for a person. We all know that Chinese pronunciation is very difficult for many of the non-native speakers. So when my tutor somewhere awkwardly said, did I pronounce your name correctly? I couldn't feel any more embarrassed and strange. So I decided to change the name my parents had carefully chosen for me, which has a very good meaning, the meaning of proud, to a bunch of names that I selected. I kind of like this one. It's made of a bunch of letters through a random Google website. So this was the first time I actually realized that I'm so different from the European people. In school, I became a very quiet observer since I didn't really understand the environment and I'm not really familiar with other people. I observed what they did. And I figured in the Chinese social interactions, reading the air, eye contact interpretation is a really core skill for us. Most of the time, the rule is to respect the silence and the boundaries in silence because we believe it speaks louder than words. When we are expressing affection, we don't just go kisses, hugs, I love you. We're more reserved than that. So when someone tried to hug me to show they're friendly, I kind of just offered my hand to do a handshake, and we were both very embarrassed. Because of the changes, I was very anxious about fitting in the community. I was really afraid of being excluded. So I tried to figure many ways to fit in this community, try to feel the sense of belonging. I tried to imitate my classmates. I want to like what they like. I want to do what they do. I want to say what they say. I even tried to smile in the same way as them to show that, yeah, I am actually a part of you guys. I'm a part of your friend group. But I just feel really tired. I don't think this is the case. I felt like a puzzle, with the wrong pieces in the wrong places and being taken apart again because I know something was not right about it. Perhaps this is a herd mentality. When you feel lost, your DNA makes you look at the majority, try to fit in one place so that you have to be the same as them, as if that's how you do the right thing, as if that's how you become a person in this community, to feel safe. And that's actually what I did. I cannot make sure how long this situation lasted, but it was an ordinary afternoon. I was sharing the joke from my hometown that if you don't speak my language, you probably will not get the humor. I shared it with my friends, and I unexpectedly saw the curiosity in their eyes. I feel like the wall, the invisible wall between us, was kind of broken at that moment. I couldn't feel any happier. I feel like I was agreed, I was accepted, and they seemed to really get interested in getting to know me. I was proud of myself. So I started to rethink the way I try to fit in this community. Maybe instead of being a clone of other people, do what they do, I can try to become the bridge between two very different and even the opposite cultures. Maybe I can let the two ends see each other so that we can get closer to each other. I figured this, and I tried to be myself. I accepted the core that is shaped by my old experiences, the old people I met, the old adventures that I have taken. I learned that the core value of you could never be changed because you want to fit in a new place. You need to accept it. You need to accept your very being. Because you are undefinable. You can reshape yourself. Accept you, understand others, balance the internal needs and external outside world, so that you can have a better life. Nowadays, sometimes my friend kind of jokingly say to me, "Oh, Vera, I think you've changed a lot." And only I know that's because I'm more embraced to the new things. And I started to enjoy the culture diversity. I know the culture gap may always exist, but as long as we understand it, we accept it, and we accept ourselves, we can try to narrow it. And we get closer to each other to have a better relationship. So when you are thinking about if you should leave a field that you don't feel comfortable with belonging in, maybe you should try to be more adaptable. Try to observe first, try to understand it first, so that we can all have a better life. Thank you.